Hello everyone. Donny Berger, an inconsequential teenager with an ear piercing, gets 2 tickets to a Van Halen concert. He brags about it to his friends and offers a ticket to Miss Mary McGarrigle, who conjures up exciting fantasies in his mind. The bold invitation leads to an unexpected opportunity for the boy to put his fantasies into practice. It turns out that Miss McGarrigle has had forbidden feelings for him all school year. The two begin a secret and reckless romance, which accidentally becomes public in front of the entire school, and Donny Berger instantly becomes the idol of his classmates. However, it soon turns out that Mary is pregnant, and Donny himself, thanks to this story, becomes a TV star and earns a lot of money amidst his growing popularity. But the story is far from a happy ending, as Mary is imprisoned and the couple's child is left in the care of the responsible father. Many months after the student-teacher relationship became known to everyone, Miss McGarrigle shows a visible belly. She is convicted of illegal actions and sentenced to 30 years in prison. The judge decides to place the child born under Donny's custody until his son turns 18. The day of the trial and the separation from his beloved marks the beginning of fame and glory for Donny. The young man stars in numerous television shows, receives fabulous paychecks, and appears on the covers of renowned magazines. The once successful Donny Berger now shares a collapsing car. While drinking beer in the afternoon, his lawyer informs him of a $43,000 tax debt, and failure to pay could result in 3 years of imprisonment. Having received huge fortunes, Donny never paid taxes. To further complicate the already catastrophic situation, Donny is summoned to pay his debts by the end of the week. This would prevent him from being arrested, but Donny only has $28 in his pocket. The lawyer offers him a way out of the situation, to bet $20 on a participant in the Boston Marathon nicknamed Fate, whose odds of winning are 8,000 to 1. Alternatively, he could ask his son for money. But it turns out that the boy, whom Donny calls Han Solo, left his father when he turned 18 and has been systematically avoiding him since then. Meanwhile, the promising young financier Todd Patterson meets his fiancée Jamie. She enthusiastically shows him the newspaper, on the front page of which their photo appears, along with an announcement about the couple's upcoming wedding. Todd, embarrassed for some reason, does not share the same emotions as his fiancée, but is concerned that the publications are too revealing. In response, the affectionate Jamie asks the groom if he took his antidepressants for the day and tries to comfort Todd with the promise of the best wedding ceremony in the world. While drinking at their favorite club, Donny thinks about where to get the money for taxes to avoid ending up in prison. The only thing he knows how to do is to be himself, but the days of fame and high paychecks are over. Looking through job ads, he flips through the newspaper and suddenly recognizes his son in the front page photo. Despite Han Solo visibly losing weight and changing his name, Donny is sure he is not mistaken. The dancer suggests that Donny ask his son for money to pay the taxes, but he is haunted by doubts. After all, the boy changed his name and, in a note about his biography, even declared that his parents died in an explosion. On the weekend, Todd introduces his fiancée and her parents to his boss. Mr. Spiro, the friendly man, warmly welcomes the guests, expressing pride in his smart protégé, and offers them to feel at home in his summer house. Soon, Jamie's brother, the tough Marine Chad, joins the group, explicitly hinting to Todd that he is ready to defend his sister with his own hands at any moment. In pursuit of a job, Donny follows the footsteps of his former fame and arrives at Randall Morgan's television station. There, he encounters his longtime friend, the singer of the hit Ice Ice Baby, rapper Vanilla Ice, who happens to be Miss McGarrigle's son as well. Irritated with Donny for being involved with his mother, Vanilla Ice refuses to help him overcome his difficulties, as he himself is now working at a skating rink and selling chicken nuggets. The encounter between the ex-friends turns into a fight, which is interrupted by TV personality Randall Morgan appearing behind them. Seizing the casual meeting, Donny tries to convince Randall to return to the show and suggests a sensational scenario, his reunion with Mary McGarrigle. However, the seasoned TV man, in search of ratings, insists on Donny bringing his adult son to the meeting, which will guarantee Donny a fee of $50,000. Soon, Donny shows up at Todd's boss's doorstep and boldly enters the living room, where people are gathered for lunch at that moment. As arrogant as he was in his youth, Donny shocks everyone with his behavior and embarrasses the bewildered Todd, who introduces him as an old friend. However, he manages to charm the bride's family and is kindly invited to dinner. Todd takes his audacious father to the room, where they begin to argue furiously. The son rightly suspects that his absent father has shown up to beg for money. In response, Donny invents a drama, claiming that Mary is ill, trying to convince his son on the eve of his wedding. to visit his mother in prison, whom he hasn't seen for many years. However, Todd immediately refuses. At this moment, the angry son reminds his father of all the mistakes in his upbringing and their consequences. For instance, due to daily sweets at breakfast, Todd now has to inject himself with insulin. The argument is interrupted by Jamie, slamming the door, stating it's time for Todd to go out and greet the guests. Among the gathered guests, Donny Burger causes a stir. He easily finds common ground with the refined ladies, and soon one of them recognizes him as the former TV star. They then inquire about the whereabouts of the son, and Donny responds that Han Solo now works as a private detective. Later, Todd's father's sudden appearance finally spirals out of control, while his friend Phil bestows upon Donny the honor of being the wedding godfather. In the evening, in the bedroom, Jamie admiringly shows the groom an incredible $12,000 wedding dress. Besides the dress, the couple also discusses Todd's peculiar old friend, and the girl shows the book that Donny distributed to the entire family. Todd opens the first page and sees the dedication from the author to his son, and suddenly he feels touched. To avoid revealing his secret, the young man tries to divert Jamie's attention to something more intimate, but receives a slap on the hand from the irritated bride, who ensures the luxurious dress remains in perfect condition. The next morning, the family goes to the church for the wedding rehearsal. The bride and groom and their relatives are greeted by the good-humored Father McNally. He suggests starting the rehearsal with the speech from the groom's father, only to learn from the bride, Jamie, that he's deceased. Father McNally expresses his condolences to Todd, then begins to say that his father doesn't deserve them. The priest rebukes Todd, asking him not to disrespect the dead in the house of the Lord. But provoked by Donny, the young man continues to stoke the fire and says he didn't hear a word the priest said. "All I can focus on is your breath." Then, the priest invites Todd to see the garden, and as soon as the family crosses the church threshold, McNally suddenly punches him hard in the face. He then removes his blazer and exposes his mountain of muscles, while Jamie's father tells Donny that McNally once killed a man in the ring, which is why he became a priest. The Holy Father himself is now beating the groom, and to save his son from being beaten, Donny knocks McNally unconscious with a blow to the head. The family blames Todd for the incident and scolds him. Donny, on the other hand, manages to find a way out of the situation. He tells a sorrowful story about Todd's father's death, which drastically changes the family's judgments, and they all agree to simply find another place. So, the wedding is shifted to the beach, where preparations begin immediately. At this moment, Jamie and her friends head off for the bachelorette party. To Donny's delight, Todd is also having a bachelor party. The group of men arrives at the spa, where Donny expects some exotic entertainment, but instead, they are served rosewater infusions, clay masks, massages, and pedicures. Irritated by the dull bachelor party, Donny encourages everyone to spend time elsewhere and easily convinces the men to be interested in a new proposition. The bachelor party continues at Donny's favorite club, where the group spends time with drinks and scantily clad girls. Afterward, Donny sends the revelers home one by one in a limousine to be alone with his son, and the first thing he does is give him a wedding gift. Inside the cassette tape box is a feather earring, which Donny himself once gave to Mary. After some hesitation, Todd agrees to pierce his ear to wear the gift from his father, and enduring the terrible pain, confesses to feeling braver. After that, father and son decide to have some fun together and visit Vanilla Ice, who fills Todd's shirt pocket with chicken nuggets before the trio embarks on an exciting night adventure. As a result, father and son find mutual understanding, reinforced by strong hugs, and Todd himself volunteers to visit his mother in prison. However, Donny, now with the love and conscience of a sincere father, which prevents him from profiting from his son, dissuades him from venturing. Despite the father's resistance, the next morning Todd still decides to visit his mother, informing her by phone. Donny instantly rushes to find his son to stop him from meeting Randall Morgan, but it doesn't work. The film crew surrounds the father and son, and then Todd instantly realizes what's going on. Donny tells his furious son about his tax problem, but Todd refuses to help him. Furthermore, Randall informs Donny that he won't receive the money unless his son signs a waiver for the copyright of the filmed material. Realizing that his relationship with his son is ruined, Donny still doesn't give up and, in an attempt to fix everything, wants to improve his relationship with Jamie so that she reconciles him with Todd. To do this, he goes to the hotel where the bride, according to tradition, spends the night before the wedding separated from the groom. However, stopping at her room door with a conciliatory ice cream, Donny hears specific sounds and decides to enter the room through the balcony to expose the unfaithful bride. Suspecting the girl's affair with Todd's boss, Donny is even more shocked to find his son's bride lying in bed with his own brother. Deeply shocked by what he saw, Donny decides to save his son from marrying her and is about to tell him everything, but clever Jamie decides to bribe him, which works. The morning of the wedding day arrives. Donny calls his lawyer to let him know he can pay his overdue taxes. While unpacking, he comes across his son's gift. In the box is an oven mitt, Todd's childhood toy, which he had kept all these years after all. So, paternal love surpasses the fear of prison. With Vanilla Ice as his partner, Donny desperately rushes to disrupt the wedding. When the breathless father appears at the ceremony, Todd prepares to swear eternal love to his bride, but doesn't do it in time. Donny declares he's against the marriage. He confesses he's Todd's father and forces Jamie to confess her infidelities, tearing up the $50,000 check she received the night before her eyes. Stunned, Todd leaves Jamie, and after a tumultuous farewell, the reunited Burgers depart together. Shortly after, in the company of his son and friends, Donny eats the farewell cake before heading to jail. Donny decides to serve his sentence and not take from his son the amount needed to pay the taxes that Todd himself offered him. However, Donny's lawyer suddenly bursts into the club and turns on the TV. It turns out the Boston Marathon is happening at that moment, in which Donny bet $20 on Fats with odds of 8,000 to 1. The runner crosses the finish line first, and Donny wins $160,000. What do you think? Is the movie worth seeing or not? Leave your answer in the comments and subscribe so you don't miss the summary of your favorite films.